Hey, it's Joe Gilder again from Home Studio Corner. This is a part 2 on multiband compression, the multiband dynamics processor that comes with Studio One. In the last video, I showed you how I use it on a mix for more mastering purposes. And in this video, I'm going to show you my other use for it, which is as a de-esser, okay? There's a couple ways. There's no de-esser plugin per se inside of Studio One. Unfortunately, but there are a couple ways to do it. So one way, and if you don't know what a de-esser is, let me explain it in 30 seconds. If you listen to a lead vocal when they're singing and you add a bunch of compression to it, everything on the vocal might sound great, except when he sings an S or a T, those cut through too much. That's kind of a byproduct of compression. And you can try to address it with microphone placement and with EQ and things like that. But sometimes you have a perfect vocal tone. It just needs a little de-essing so it's not so harsh and doesn't chop your face off when he sings those really loud S's and T's. And so a de-esser is basically a multi-band compressor that only listens to the high frequencies where the S is happening and then turns those down. Now, if that's what it is, then a multi-band compressor will be a great tool to use to accomplish that. Now, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that they've added a de-esser preset. No, they haven't. So I should probably make one. De-noise, that's interesting. Okay, never mind. We'll make one from scratch, and I'll show you how to do it. You can do this with any multi-band compressor, but I'll show you how to do it with this one. So I've got 3 bands here. What I'm going to do is get rid of the lowest band and make this a 2-band compressor, basically. I'm going to come to the lowest band, select the low band, and set the ratio to 1:1. So there is nothing happening in this low band. I want it to not touch the audio. And in this high band, we're going to turn off the edit all relatives so I can adjust each band individually. In this high band, I'm going to put a pretty fast attack and a fairly quick release. Let's go 10. And the ratio I'm going to crank up. Maybe 10:1, because we want to slap those S's hard and quickly, and then we want to let them go and come back through. And then now we're going to hit play, and I'm going to solo the vocal track so we can hear that. One love, one love. So I've got all the vocals going through this track. And what we're going to do is we're just going to listen to this high frequency to dial in which frequencies we're listening to, and so which frequencies are we compressing. So here we go. We'll dial it in. So that chew, the CH sound, that's a little loud and cuts through the mix a little too much. So we dial up the frequency here till we're just hearing the high frequency stuff. We're just hearing the annoying stuff. So you dial it up pretty high until you're just hearing kind of that wispy ch-ch-ch kind of sound. Let me fast forward so we've got it. Okay. Okay, we'll loop that and listen to it again. Let me go find my multiband. Okay, so now we've kind of honed in on that frequency. Turn it up a little bit. Okay. So now it's just getting the ch-ch sound. So now we're going to turn the threshold down until it starts compressing those ch's a fair amount. So it's knocking them down pretty hard. So I'm going to deselect the solo here. So now we're listening to the whole vocal, but now only the high frequencies are being compressed when the ch comes in. Let's see how that sounds. Without you. Okay, it sounds a little muddy and dull, right? Basically, we've turned down the high frequencies. So what we want to do is use some makeup gain to get the volume back kind of consistent with the level that was there before. Without you. So before. Without you. Without. So that's too much gain. Let's try this. Without. You know what? Maybe I'm wrong. Start over. Let's hear before. Without you. After. Without you. Okay. Without you. Without you. So the ch is a little bit louder and it's a little bit softer here. If we bring this down and make it super aggressive and turn the ratio up. Without you. You can hear how it's hitting those ch's a little too hard.
Without you.
So we don't want that to happen. We want to just be on the ch sound. So I turn up the frequency a little more, so we're just listening to high frequencies on the compressor.
Without you.
That's a little better. Now, let's not get such a crazy threshold.
Without you. Without you. Without you.
There you go. You'd want to tweak it a little bit more, but that's one way to use a multiband dynamic in your mix to cut back on those S's and T's that are coming through. Here's what it sounds like in the mix.
Without you.
Versus.
Without you. Without you.
It's subtle, like most things in mixing. It's a fairly subtle thing. But once you get it over a mix and you've really got that vocal up front, it helps to tame it down and keep it from smacking you in the face as much. Okay, that's it for MultiBand. Great tool to use in Studio One. I'm Joe from HomeStudioCorner.com. See ya.